Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Major Mohammed Ali Shah, and it's my proud privilege and honor to welcome a very, very special guest with us who is a renowned human rights activist. He needs no introduction at all. You all know him. You all have seen him in various interviews, giving various international interviews, talking about human rights. And we have with us Mr. Babloo Loitongbam. Sir, good morning and Jai Hind, sir.
Good morning, Major.
Sir, I know you're very busy, and firstly, I'm really very grateful to you for taking your time, sir. I would like to know your way, your idea of getting peace in a beautiful state like Manipur, sir.
Major, I think it is very simple. Politicians need to come together and stop the people from fighting. All the matters at hand can be discussed, dialogued, and sorted out. Uh, the political will to come and look eye to eye and discuss things out is, I think, the key factor that is missing. All this violence can be stopped once the political will is there. I think what is missing today is that political will to engage and to dialogue and to sort out the differences.
I agree with you, sir. I agree with you. I mean, that is almost 4 months now, and the violence is still on, and the army hasn't gotten a formal requisition as yet to come down and to, as an aid to civil authority. I'm not even talking about Armed Forces Special Power Act. In fact, my take on Armed Forces Special Power Act is, since you are a human rights activist, it is that one can't. That's my personal take, sir, because I have served there. It is, you can't do away with it. You can certainly tweak it. There can certainly be some amendments to it, which should be there, which should be conducive for the environment over there. That's my personal take on it. So, apart from the political will, I mean, why hasn't neutral parties, or probably they would have, maybe I'm not aware, they haven't. I feel they haven't made enough of an effort to get the two parties together on a table to talk. So, why is that so, sir?
The question is, who is the neutral party? I mean, civil society have been making some attempts. People are meeting quietly across the border, but unfortunately, they don't have the power. And when society is so militarized now, as you are seeing, I'm not talking even about the regular military, but the people who controls them behind has to have the will to come together. Otherwise, you might go and talk for some time, and then next day there's a shooting, and everything falls back to square one. So, I mean, it is very good that people to people talk should happen. We are still talking to many of our cookie friends, but unfortunately, tomorrow there's a firing in the in the farmers, and everything falls back, and the anger or the echo chamber. There is a cookie echo chamber where cookie constantly see themselves as a victim. There's a Meitei echo chamber where constantly Meitei sees themselves as a victim, and a corresponding hatred or demonization of the other is going on full scale last 4 months, and this kind of a wall between these two people has to be broken. And unless and until the violence comes down to a certain manageable level, it will be impossible. Yesterday, day before yesterday, uh, I mean, when the assembly session was going to come again, firing have started. And so the whole 2 day yesterday, there were stories about firing. So passions are going high, people are feeling insecure, mobilization is going on. So dialogue is very fine, but unless and until we find the key people to come and engage, uh, I mean, random efforts by ordinary citizens will not work. So I think we have to get the political actors, the key political actors, to come and dialogue and lay out on table what are the issues. And of course, the central government has a huge role because everybody is looking up to the central government to be the arbiter in this. So what the central government does and what are they practically giving? I mean, we should not also unnecessarily give false hope to certain community. Then it kind of creates an environment where they think your neighbor is the obstacle. We have to be practical, pragmatic, and get down. And I think the biggest responsibility lies with the central government, because the power is there, and they can dialogue with both sides and give them what is reasonably uh, possible. And then, of course, once that environment is created, I think the people to people dialogue at the civil society level, dialogue at the grassroots level is possible. But unless and until the violence level comes down, all this dialogue may come, but then tomorrow you'll be declared traitor, and then the people who are with arms are going to come and attack you because you are not towing the official line. So I think at the moment the ball is actually in the court of the center to try and bring the key political actors to come and dialogue.
Right, sir. So, and you brought out a very important point that who are the neutral parties, and what if the neutral parties, what they say, holds no weightage in the as far as authority is concerned. For example, I would call myself a
Absolutely,
neutral
Major.
party as well, but I have been speaking to a lot of cookies, a lot of Maites, a lot of Nagas as well, but it holds no value because there's no authority from the government on a common man say. So also, you are a renowned lawyer, a renowned anthropologist. Of late, a lot of we have noticed a lot of legal war has also started. People sitting in Bangalore and Delhi, and suddenly from nowhere, who are out in Manipur, who have been appearing on television panel discussions. There have been legal notices and summons and FIRs being lodged from both sides. The Maites are doing it on cookies, the cookies are doing it on Maites, and so on and so forth. And so people are very scared to come out in public and talk about it now. Any it's caused. So what do you think as a lawyer could be the implications of that, sir?
Sir, well, I think it is a fundamental right of every citizen of this country under Article 19 to have the freedom of expression. We are free to speak what we want to speak. However, of course, the caveat is that it should not cross the certain Laxman Rekha, which is already provided in our constitution. It should not be a hate speech that kind of create hatred among certain vulnerable communities, and also it should not be an incitement to violence, and also the national unity and integrity should not be questioned. Undermined. There are certain conditions which are already there in our constitution, and um, I think the criteria should be that people should be allowed to talk unless and until it is absolutely necessary for these considerations to curtail them. However, in a charged environment like this today, I think the commentators and the speakers should also have due diligence to make sure that what they are speaking is not further infuriating the violence, but it has. I think at the moment the need is to calm down the situation and get to level-headed discussion. So therefore, that responsibility should also be there. But however, for the state to come in and curb the freedom of expression of the citizen, I think the criteria should be only when it is absolutely necessary for the considerations that our constitution have already outlined. So I am in favor of freedom of expression and people expressing their opinion, but done it in a way which is not uh, infuriating the situation, which is not escalating the violence which is already there on the ground.
That's very well answered by you, sir. Very well answered by you. And I know you're referring to Article 19(1)(a), where the reasonable restriction, where they should not cross the line over there. You're very well answered. So that means people who have been appearing on panels, on interviews, somewhere I've found from both the sides, they've got a bit intimidated that, oh, what if I speak something wrong? Or because as long as you're not speaking anything wrong, as long as you are speaking from your heart and you're speaking peace, as long as you're talking positive, nothing to fear about. Someone, lastly, before I let you go, sir, as an anthropologist, I would like to ask you. I studied the basics of anthropology, sir. Very, very basics of it. So recently, of late, in the Manipur Assembly, we found out of 10, 6 Kuki MLAs had already asked for absentia in the assembly, and then the Kuki MLAs did not attend the assembly. So, what if had they attended? What do you think could have been? Could there been any difference in them attending and not attending?
I think it would have been much smarter for them to attend, and the problem, the burden of it would lie with the government then to take action on it. But anyway, they have decided to boycott it. and there are a lot of constitutional questions as to if they have not shown up in the assembly for 6 months, whether they can still be, there is ground for them to be disqualified, and all that are being thrown up by from different quarters. But despite of not being there, the speaker was not able to even listen to the opposition and list out some of their concerns in the agenda, which has actually created chaos in the assembly. And this was perhaps the shortest assembly ever in this country, and in the history of this country. And therefore, it was very unfortunate that it reflects that there is no intention from the side of the present government in Manipur to enter into serious dialogue to get to the roots of the problem and try to solve it. It is very unfortunate. I wish the opposition also had some restraint and try to enter into a dialogue, even though they are claiming that space is not available because it was too short. But overall, it was a huge disappointment for the people, both in the valley as well as in the hills. So I think one point of common ground that both the Cookies and the Meitei have is their disenchantment with the present regime and how they handle the matter. That could be an interesting common ground for us to even start talking about a change, so that we can think about a much more responsible governance who cater to the needs of the people, who listen to the people, who are ready to address the burning issues of the people, rather than skirting away from it, running away from it, and try to avoid addressing the real issues in front.
That is very well answered by you, sir. Very, very logically and very rationally is put up by you. In fact, I hold the same opinion as you, sir. And before we let you go, sir, any last message you'd like to just throw it in the universe, sir?
Well, Major, I really appreciate your love and passion of Manipur. I have also been following your story. Usually, as human rights activists, we are at loggerheads with the security forces, but people like you have made a huge difference to also humanize that there is also a heart and a loving mind behind the uniform. You might have to do your duties because you are in there's a certain call for duty, but also having left that and you dedicating your time, energy, and resources to solve this vexed problem, I think is very well appreciated. And thank you very much for all your love and passion for the people of Manipur. We hope more people like you will come out and try and to solve this very complicated and perplexing problem in Manipur. If there is a will, there is a way, and we hope that we will find a way. The more people like yourself come out, talk, speak, try to find us, explore a way within this very complicated situation, I think we will ultimately find a way, and hope that peace and justice will prevail in Manipur as
Thank you so
as
much.
anywhere else.
Thank you so much, sir. Means a lot, sir. Very kind of you. Thank you so much, sir, for taking your time. Really grateful to you. What an honor it was to be in conversation with you, sir. Take care, sir. Jai Hind, sir.
Thank you, Major. Thank you so much.